I lied sometimes because I wanted to hide my...
I honestly had a hard time being truthful and honest to my partner.
I sometimes withhold complete transparency when it comes to
Definitely, sometimes I'm lying.
all human beings lie. Most human beings admit that they find lying easier than telling the truth. Lies can often have negative consequences, as countries have gone to war over lies. Yet, how comfortable would we be with telling the truth all the time? How quickly would relationships be destroyed if all we did was tell the truth, no matter how much that truth would hurt someone? Or would it? So this question arose when I invited you all to submit your questions for a Q&A video. So why do Filipinas lie? I think that it is very important to remember that dishonesty is not exclusive to any nationality or ethnicity. People can lie in so many different reasons, and every individual varies in their behavior. I believe that every person lies, and I think it's not appropriate to attribute lying to a specific nationality or ethnicity.
I think all of us has the tendency to lie. Let's say in a relationship setting, we are so afraid to tell the truth because we're afraid that our partner might get mad at us, might kick us out, and that would lead us to being alone. We panic, we get scared, and our logical brain gets clouded of all those fears and of all those possible stories that might happen to us if we get kicked out. And because of that, we are so convinced that the best way for us to survive is to lie about the real situation.
There is the conception that lying is bad and truth-telling is good. That truth-telling is important because it creates trust. But lower levels of lying is often necessary to support that trust.
So lying is a common behavior for everybody around the world. It depends if you have a bad intention or a good intention in lying. So here in the Philippines, it's really common, and we call it white lies.
Lying is commonly thought of as a form of protective behavior. We lie to protect ourselves, and sometimes more importantly, to protect others. There is lying for greed, and there is lying for protection. Which one we use is situational and often cultural.
I think lying is a universal problem. I don't think it's only the Filipinos that lie. And I think people lie because they don't like the truth. They are ashamed of the truth about themselves, especially if it's about themselves.
In the West, success based on lying is often more respected than mediocrity based on being virtuous. In the East, lying is often used to save face. Career success is not always the definition of one's life, but saving face can be. In Japan, not too long ago, losing face resulted in harakiri or seppuku, the act of killing oneself. In the Philippines, lying is more relationship-oriented, as lives are much more defined through relationships than through career-oriented success. The most prevalent trait seems to be that of the white lie, told to protect oneself from having to save face.
One of the reasons why Filipina lie to their partner or to their husband is because they are trying to avoid conflict or argument. Most Filipina I know hate argument, especially if they are married or in a relationship with a foreigner, because they can't really express or explain how they feel. So instead of getting into a conflict or argument, they lie instead.
Maybe sometimes because I wanted to protect myself by not telling the truth. When someone asked me, "Are you okay?" I would say, "Yes, I'm okay," but definitely sometimes I'm lying because I don't want them to know what I really feel.
Yet, science demonstrates that lying is a learned trait, whereas truthfulness is as natural to human behavior as walking is to human physiology. I can only provide my own perspective or reason regarding on why I engage into dishonesty sometimes. So say for instance, financial matters. I sometimes withhold complete transparency when it comes to financial matters, especially when my partner asks my financial situation. So I might opt to provide a less accurate response, such as everything is going well or finances are stable. I personally believe that resorting into this approach is needed, especially that admitting financial struggles can be misconstrued sometimes for soliciting money or obligating my partner to provide financial assistance. So I might be inclined to withhold the truth from my partner to prevent any misinterpretation that could lead him to thinking I'm seeking for financial assistance.
Most of the people do white lies because they don't want to offend the person that they're talking to. And most of people here are not open to being direct. And we have this behavior also that we always think about the feelings of others.
We have learned that children begin to formulate their first lies around the ages of 4 or 5. So their first 5 years are marked by innocence. Studies also demonstrate that lying requires much more work because it involves the use of prefrontal cortex, which requires much energy, whereas telling the truth barely requires thought.
I honestly had a hard time being truthful and honest to my partner, especially about what I feel, what I don't like, what I like. And it took me like a whole year to just, really push myself to just be vulnerable and honest.
In Filipino culture, politeness and respect is truly highly valued. As a result, some Filipinos may use indirect or subtle ways when it comes to expressing our thoughts or expressing our answers to the person who's asking the question.
We are afraid that the people, especially our loved ones, will not accept us or will criticize us. It is easier to lie than to face the truth about ourselves.
When you try to be direct and be straightforward in what you see about them, they get offended right away.
So the question is, do we really need to lie? Does lying really protect us? Or does it make us weaker? Would telling the truth allow us to navigate more fluidly through life without constantly strategizing and then endlessly re-strategizing?
I lied sometimes because I wanted to hide my feelings, not because I want to fool people. It's like lying with small things, but I couldn't lie with big or huge things. I think that would be very hard for me to do.
I do lie, I'm not perfect. I do lie with my partner, which is a foreigner. And for example of that is, I do lie on something that I don't have, which I said I do have, which I don't really have it. Because I don't want him to feel bothered or will say, did you get some dress or like that? And I just said yes to make it short conversation. Because if I didn't not say yes, or if I said no, he may wanna like think about, I need to give her something to get that dress or to get what she like. And I don't like that at all.
I did lie to my mom from time to time whenever she asks me how I am. How am I? You know, do you have money? Or are you okay? I'm a liar when it comes to that at times. When someone asks me, how are you? I would say, I'm okay. But definitely inside my heart, I'm not. It's just that I don't want to tell people that, you know.
And I think Filipinos lie about themselves, especially if they met a guy online, a foreigner. I think they lie because they don't want the foreigner to know about their truth. Like, for example, having a kid. They don't want the foreigner to go away. They don't want to be criticized. They don't want to be judged. They actually have a call for this. It's called saving face, way of saying that I don't like the truth about myself and I don't like you to judge me or criticize me. So I'm gonna tell you a different story about myself.
I would lie because I don't want him to feel bothered. For me, that is my experience, and that's how I lie.
It really takes a lot of self-awareness for all of us to be able to notice that this action that I'm doing right now, this action that I'm about to do, which is to lie, is it really the best thing to do? Am I lying because I'm actually very scared?
Maybe we should work at returning to our most natural states. Maybe we need to return to a balance where we build moral muscles that we have been tearing down. Maybe if we were to tell the truth, we would spend less time in the confines of hate, which is most often based on the telling of lies about others. And maybe if we tell the truth to others, we would be regarded as friends who can be trusted, as there would be no need for doubt. This might be the real protection that we need, and this might bring us to the higher levels of virtuosity and veracity that Aristotle spoke about almost 2,400 years ago. To be virtuous, he argued, one must be fair-minded, kind, compassionate, and most of all, honest. To be virtuous, one must have self-control over their emotions and impulses.
The book Lying by Sam Harris is something that really helped me kind of unlock this part of my brain to be really motivated to practice just being honest. And now that I've done that for such a long time, I feel like now my default is just to tell the truth. And I hope that everyone else will be able to do the same thing as well.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. If you want us to produce more content like this, please feel free to join our Patreon community. Your support means the world to us. Thank you.
It's like a magnet, wearing holes in the carpet, counting steps to the back porch, same song